You were not here in the morning. There were several speeches. We listened carefully. I listened to the opening address by His Imperial Majesty, the Owner of Ife. And he was gingering all of us to work as a family, to work as a team, to see Nigeria as one. And then I felt maybe this is good. But when you look at it, this same Imperial Majesty is arranging to confer a very high honor on Sunday Igboho, who, in my own part of Nigeria in the southeast, we see him as a counterpart of Nnamdi Kanu.
Hold on. Before we watch to finish, let's understand and establish some facts. I have a question, and my question is, what is funny about the mentioning of Nnamdi Kanu? I mean, is it funny to state the obvious fact? Nnamdi Kanu is no different to whatever Sunday Igboho is doing or whatever he has done. So this particular traditional ruler is from Enugu, and I love the guts he actually unleashed on President Tinubu. I mean, the things that many senators, our governors from the southeast could not say. He boldly confronted President Tinubu with the truth. The confrontation that no one, including those shouting and parading themselves, talking about political solution of Nnamdi Kanu's case for years. For the past 5 years, this old man had to, stood up and say this. And a lot of people don't even know, or should I say understand, the weight behind this very statement. It is powerful, highly political, and historical. Not just that, it is a strategy. Before we say further, let's finish up the video.
And my brother, fellow royal father, the Imperial Majesty, does not seem to understand the pain in my heart when Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto. So, sir, the ball stops on your court. Bring this man out. If we don't want him in Nigeria, return him to Kenya or London, where they took him from. You see, some of us here have been asked to go and work, but the young people in the southeast are so agitated, they can even beat us. They see us as sellouts. We come to Abuja, they may think we come to collect money, and then we keep quiet. So, sir, please do something about this. Do something about this. We cannot make progress in this country if we don't tell ourselves the home truth. There's no way. There's no way.
Wow, this is not just bold, but very powerful. Free Nnamdi Kanu or return him back to Kenya, where you took him from. Southeast traditional ruler tells Tinubu. Now, let's explain. This may be one of the most strategic political statements ever made by any Igbo man about Nnamdi Kanu. I mean, for the first time, a prominent Southeast monarch has openly told President Tinubu on his face, free him or return him to Kenya. And he didn't say this quietly. He said it directly to the president at the State House in Abuja. Now, let's break it down. What really happened, why it matters, and the political implications. Now, here's the story. A respected traditional ruler from Enugu State, Dr. Lawrence Agbozo, made a bold appeal during the 2026 National Traditional and Religious Leaders Summit on Health, held at the State House Conference Center in Abuja. Standing before President Tinubu, he made a direct request: bring this man out. If we don't want him in Nigeria, return him to Kenya or London, where he was taken from. The monarch argued that the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, is fueling agitation among young people in the southeast. According to him, traditional rulers are increasingly losing credibility in their communities because of the unresolved situation. He warned, the young people are so agitated, they can even beat us. They see us as sellouts. They think we came to Abuja to collect money and keep quiet. And to me, that is a very strong internal admission. But the monarch didn't just stop there. He questioned what he described as a selective treatment of separatist figures, referencing Sunday Igboho, a Yoruba nation activist in the southwest. Agbozo pointed out that while Oni of Ife is preparing to confer honors on Sunday Igboho, Nnamdi Kanu remains in detention. Now, his argument, if one region treats its separatist agitator with a recognition, while another region's agitator remains detained, then the message of national unity becomes complicated. Because, of course, at the beginning of this very video, he said, yes, you said we want peace, we want unity and all of that. It is good, it is welcomed, everybody wants Nigeria to be one, but not with such treatment to the Igbos. And this is where the statement becomes strategic, because this was not a street protest speech. It was delivered inside the State House, inside Aso Rock, to the president himself in front of national leaders. Now, as an analyst, this very statement signals three key political realities. First, agitation in the southeast is not dying quietly. Traditional rulers are feeling pressure from the young generations. Secondly, the political class in the southeast may be facing a legitimacy crisis among their own people. Third, the President Tinubu's administration is now being publicly challenged, not by activists, but by traditional authority figures. And that changes the tone of the conversation, because when monarchs begin to speak this openly, it means private appeals may have failed. Now, this may be the first time a Southeast royal father has framed this issue this way. Not just free him, but if Nigeria does not want him, return him. That deframes the debate from detention to repatriation, and that is politically significant. Now, to many people that are actually laughing, because in that video you could see that even President himself was overwhelmed with laughter. Now, when a matter involves Nnamdi Kanu, it is not seen in the Southeast as an ordinary legal issue or political problem. For many people in the region, it represents a whole lot. I mean, you talk about political marginalization, ethnic tension, youth frustration, distrust of federal authority. So, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and others appear to laugh during this kind of remarks, which is connected to these subjects mentioned, even if the laughter was not intentional or malicious, the optics become very powerful. Yes, very, very powerful, because politics is often less about intention and more about perception, and perception shapes emotion. This is why this laughter may feel disrespectful to some people. To many in the Southeast, Kanu's detention is a highly emotional issue, a long-standing legal and political controversy, a source of agitation and insecurity. When a laughter is seen in that context, some interpret it as lack of seriousness, insensitivity, or even deliberate dismissal. Whether that interpretation is accurate or not is a different question, but emotionally, that is how it lands, and in politics, emotion impact matters for real. Now, from my own perspective, seeing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and others laughing at the moment Nnamdi Kanu's issue was raised by this elderly man is deeply disappointing. To me, this is not a laughing matter. In the Southeast, Kanu's case is a serious business. It represents tension, frustration, and a long-standing concern for many young people in the region. Seeing laughter in that context feel insensitive and dismissive. So, whether intentional or not, it sends the wrong message. It creates the impression that something many people consider painful and important is being treated lightly. That is why I find it troubling, because this issue deserves seriousness and not amusement. This is not about politics for me. It is about sensitivity. It is about understanding that certain issues carry emotional consequences. The Southeast has experienced prolonged unrest linked to this very matter. Families have been affected. Communities have been divided. Emotions are still high. In that context, laughter feels out of place. It also raises uncomfortable question in my mind. Are they truly aware of how serious this matter of Nnamdi Kanu is to the people on the ground? Do they understand how it is perceived in the region? Because from where I stand, this is not something that should trigger amusement at all. It should trigger careful words, thoughtful engagement, and visible seriousness. What disappointed me most was not even the laughter itself, but the symbolism behind it. Leadership is not only about decisions, it is also about posture. When a matter of this very magnitude comes up, especially one that continues to shape conversations in the Southeast, a whole geopolitical zone, I expect a tone that reflects gravity. To me, this issue deserves seriousness, empathy and deliberate attention. Seeing laughter at that moment did not align with the weight the matter carries in the heart of many people, and that is why it left me disappointed, even though it might not matter to a lot of people. Now, as we wrap this up, let me be clear, this is not about attacking anyone, and it is not about creating division. It is about perception, sensitivity, and the weight certain issues carry in the heart of people. The case of Nnamdi Kanu is not an ordinary political topic in the Southeast. A lot of people know this. It is emotional, it is symbolic, it represents deeper frustrations and unresolved conversations. Now, the big question now is, will the president respond? Will this trigger wider traditional pressure, or will the status quo remain what it has always been? To the Igbo politicians, a lot of people have always maintained that the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu is as a result of some compromise by these politicians. But then it left for them to make the right decision. It left for them to take a bold step as regards to this very issue, because what we've witnessed in the past has always been political weakness, political sabotage, and disappointment. Because one would ask, if somebody like Igbo was about to be repatriated the way Nnamdi Kanu was taken to Nigeria, and he is being stopped, not when Tinubu was the president, but when a Northerner was the president, then what happens to the fate of an Igbo man? And that is a very big question to this politician. That is a very big shame to them. That will be a historical shame that cannot fade anytime soon. And this is why they should see reasons to buckle up. Do the needful. Have a stand on this particular issue, because the Southeast is bleeding as regards to this, because whether they like it or not, Kanu's issue is not something political compromise would solve. They should do their bidding and do the needful for peace to reign in the Southeast. One thing is clear, the issue of Nnamdi Kanu is no longer just a courtroom matter like I do say. It is becoming a credibility test for leadership in the Southeast and at the federal level. What do you think? Is this a turning point for Nnamdi Kanu, or just another strong statement that changes nothing? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification for more deeper political analysis. Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching.